Hi there. For the purpose of today's tutorial, we're just going to quickly make a new page. And you don't have to do this. This is just something I'm going to do. And we'll call it Sandbox. We can use it for this tutorial. And we'll say done. So today we're actually not looking at sites or menus and pages. We are going to be looking at background. And when we talk about background, we talk about what appears behind our pages. Now, each page usually has a different background. If I was on the home page, I'd have an image back here, as you can see behind me, or behind it, and other pages might have different ones. So when I'm looking at background on Wix, I can choose to customize each page background, or I can come down here and say apply to other pages, meaning I can apply the same background across the site. So that would be something I would have to decide. Now, the other options, though, on Wix are that we have things like color, so solid color state for background, image backgrounds, and video backgrounds. So I'm just going to go back to my sandbox page and come back to background here. So things like video, we would click on it, and you may have one that you've recorded that you want to upload. Usually these are subtle videos. There's not a lot going on. They're on loop maybe. If you wanted it to just appear like something blowing in the breeze in the background, etc., etc. If you want to get an idea of what backgrounds videos look like, you can come down here to Media from Wix or Shutterstock, and both have backgrounds that actually play. You can see, and when you click on it, you can see what the animation will be. That'll be happening behind your content on your website. So you have to think of font color. You have to think of your products and visibility. If you have a store, what is the purpose of that particular page in terms of what content will be on there and if it will appear ahead of this or not. So we have to be very careful design wise, because we don't want our fonts to be lost in the picture of the background where maybe I have a green font and now I can't see it through these leaves, etc., etc. So have to be carefully planned. This is an interesting one because there's obviously a little text box here, or spot for you to put a text box to put text. So some of them are very themed, as you can see. These are Shutterstock. Here's some media from Wix. If I click on it, things like this will happen. Now to insert that, I would choose one. So I would think I'll just have a look at something. That looks pretty good. We'll choose one and we'll say change background. And now I have the video background behind it. So when I go to preview, usually there's commands when you click, the background will play, etc., etc. So you'd have to go back and make those changes, edit those aspects of it. But the idea is that fill that site. Now I can apply to other pages. Sorry, fill that page, apply to other pages, and I can go into settings here. So I can say want to overlay a pattern. So I could say put this over it. Different patterns. Hovering over should tell me what it is, and it doesn't. So there's no tooltip here. So I can just get horizontal. I can get this kind of pattern. I can get diagonal. I can do lighter. I can do darker. So I can make those changes. I can overlay a color with a certain opacity. Opacity refers to the transparency of the layer. So if I'm putting a color over the background, I can make it very, very thick and unable for me to see through, or I can adjust that down and make my opacity much lower so I can see my background. Play at normal speed. I can make it play faster. Play in a loop is selected. So that should have started when I went to my website. Maybe it's just harder to see. And we can sample it here by hitting play. So when I arrive on the site, this is what will happen. So that is the background video option. Another option is color. I can pick a color and simply add it. Very straightforward. I can edit the colors based on my theme. etc., etc. I can add text from there too. Actually, it's brought me down, as you can see. Sorry, I'm in a different section. I didn't realize. I'm in site text. So I was up in backgrounds here. And as I said, anything added brings me to add. So I'm in colors and site text here. So you can see that things change that way. And that's the theme manager. So we'll go back up and we'll go to color and we'll pick something else. And that's generally how color works. I believe I can add a color here, customized. If I'm confused here, I can click the icon, understand what's going on here. So these custom colors aren't linked to my site, but use them anywhere I want, edit, etc. So straight up, color, block a color. Image allows me to add an image to my site. So I can add media from Wix. I can upload my own media. I can use other sites here that some of them are paid, as you saw. Shutterstock had a fee. And I can come down to Wix here and have a look and basically add, let's say beach deck, change background, and there it is. And once I've loaded it, then I get settings. So here's where I can change this. I can adjust it. This is a photo studio, so it brings me in to play around with brightness and contrast on the image, right? I can do a whole bunch of different things to it, pulling these sliders back and forth. Be careful not to overdo it. Remember the theme, remember the design options of your site, remember your font and color choices. Whatever you do to your images as a background needs to tie in with that. An element here, overlay, background, text, filters. Let's see what filters they have. We can do all kinds of different filters over the image as well. And it depends what the purpose of your image is. If you want it to be very subtle in the background and you've got a really different kind of site, great. If you want the image to be seen, I wouldn't go around adjusting or adding too many filters to it. You probably want to just stick with enhance. Crop and resize allows me to pull down, make it bigger, make it smaller, etc. Crop ratio is basically based on my design. 16:9 would be kind of like that landscape view I have on my website already. And rotate the image, flip it horizontally, flip it vertically, whatever I wish. Rotate it all the way through. Flip it this way within the picture, flip it vertically within the picture. Okay, so that is Photo Studio for a picture. We're going to leave. And then there's basic settings on the picture. So scroll effect, freeze. What do I want it to do? When I'm scrolling down, do I want it to, if I say scroll at parallax, it would come with me, meaning that as I move up, I preview, as I scroll, it goes over top of it, sorry. And if I go back to freeze, in preview, I think if I had more things on here, it would be more obvious. One of those features allows the picture to kind of scroll with me, but I don't have enough content on the page. So generally that's it, guys. The image, you design it however you want. You bring in whatever you want. Again, opacity can be adjusted here as well. Color behind the image I can change to make it lighter. I can make it darker. I can, to highlight the image. And again, I can do custom color, whatever I wish. And I can change the opacity of the image so the color comes through more or less, depending on what I want. And this is how it's scaled: original size, fill. Right now it's on fill. You could do fit. It's positioned in the center. If I position on the left, it moves to the left. On the right, it moves to the right, depending on the size of it and the layout. So if that 16:9 ratio is not selected, and I have a thin picture or something from my cell phone, for example, and I move it left, it would appear on the left side of this page. Right now I have a picture that's actually set to fill and set to designed to fill the page horizontally. So that's why I'm getting the effect. And again, I can apply this to all other pages when I'm done. If I need help, I have a question mark here. I have a help file here as well to get more details. But generally, that's it, guys. This is the page background feature for color, image, and video using Wix.